Oh, bollocks. You know what? I just forgot to show you guys that view. Oh well. It just looks like a forest over a ledge. That's all you're really missing. It just looks like a forest. Quite a thick forest, though, which is... You know, I always like really thick forests in games, but you rarely see it. I guess it's obviously because of technology and, you know, if you add too much foliage, it bogs down computers and stuff. But, yeah. Alright, so hello, Langmar. I like how it all comes back to Langmar as well. That's really cool.
I'm afraid
so she says, at last we are free of the menace of Rake Blazclaw and his nightmarish minion. Well, it's, you know, it's actually quite cool. We went out on like a bit of a rescue mission, found a corpse. It was looking quite bad, and then we turn it around and turn it into something good. So one less leader amongst the Charr is a battle won countless times on the field. Allow me to induct you as an honorary member of our unit. Take this as compensation for your brave deeds. You did good, kid. Sweet. Okay, so you get Signet of Infection there. She doesn't give us the next quest, so what I'm going to have to do is, because I know we're missing a quest, I will have to cut it until we're at the guy, because I could have sworn it was the captain there that was supposed to give it to us. So yeah, I'll see you guys in a second. And we're back. Alright, so hi guys. Yeah, he's just outside the Doomlore Shrine. Apparently he only appears here after you've completed the quest though, which makes sense, but again, I kind of have to say, what the hell guys? What the hell, Arenanet? Why do you make it so difficult to find the quest? Anyway, yeah, so here we go. Here's West Star. Easily missed, as you can see, but you do get another quest after you finish that change. And he says, Peter Redhill. Excellent. I have another task for your attention. With the defeat the Charr have suffered here, some have begun pulling the forces back. Because of this, one of my scouts saw the Charr moving another group of prisoners. They are currently being held in a cave in the uplands. I'm certain this is only transitional, and if we wait too long, the Charr will move the prisoners to a more defensible gullag. This may be our best chance to save them. Get to it before the prisoners are chow. Alright, yeehaw! One daring rescue made to order. Let's do it. Alright. What's the decline there? The Charr don't really eat people, do they? And no, I don't think the Charr do eat people. I think that's just supposed to be a bit of a myth. In fact, I think there's been actual official law written about it. If you read the ecology of the Charr, it does say that they don't actually care for eating humans, which is quite good, I guess, in a way. Quite interesting that a thought that in Guild Wars 2 you could have be playing alongside a race that likes to eat you for dinner, but there you go. Yeah, so now we've got the sniper thing. I'll try and use it when I can. Watch above my head, because you do say various things. They're not that significant in lore, but they can be quite funny to read if you manage to get the snipe. There you go, that was 500 damage there. I think that must have been a snipe. 500 damage. What did I say? Because I didn't see myself say anything there. Oh, well, he just said stuff like, Balthazar bless my aim, blah, 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 one shot, one kill. Anyway, right, so where the quest actually takes us is over here, right? So kind of near the cave that I was saying. I thought I could backtrack because I thought we were going to pick up the quest there in the field. Guess not. So what I will do is walk kind of here, I suppose, and then we'll resume filming. These mantids, man, these started wiping me when I was last here. And look, they're more dangerous than you'd think. It's just my team. Anyway, I'm not going to sit here bitching about it. I will see you guys in a second. Alright, we're in kind of uncharted territory here, so I figured I'd start filming straight away. I've actually done a really good job at dodging all of the mobs here. I kind of want to leave that footage in, but yeah, we're probably getting on a bit of a long video here anyway. So here's the cave. Lots of Charr outside. We're going to kill the Charr and hopefully save these people. Who did it actually already say who they were? No, it didn't. Yeah, I didn't think it would. Who might actually surprise you guys, and if you recognise who these guys are when we get in there, I'm sure you'll be very pleasantly surprised, because I know for certain that I was. It was brilliant. Oh, we got another superb Charr carving. Cool. Yeah, there's actually quite a lot of Charr here. Hopefully I don't die, because otherwise I'm going to be respawning ages away because I haven't triggered a single resurrection point. So I hope you don't mind, but I'm going to have my party window up here just in case, and I'll flag away if it gets a bit hairy. We seem to be doing okay, actually. This team's so weird. It's like sometimes we do fantastic. Sometimes we just absolutely shockingly bad. Oh, well, we're doing alright, I guess. No, it's starting to fall apart. Alright, cool. Looks like we've won this one. Brilliant. Alright, so I think those are actually the only... I'm not sure if those guys spawn in for the quest or not. I do know that once you've completed this quest, inside this cave you'll find a specific group of elementals, and there's actually a boss there who drops a unique item, which is kind of cool. The unique item's kind of crap, but when I was looking at the unique item just now, I was kind of thinking to myself, it's kind of cool that you have to complete a prerequisite quest, return there, and then kill a specific boss to get a rare drop to get that very item, which is kind of cool. But anyway, right, into the cave we go. Let's see these prisoners who's being kept here. And these are the flaming Scepter mages. He says, we are free again, thank you. Wait, do I know you? Yeah, you do know us. We met a long time ago. Isn't this the same person who abandoned us all those years ago at Horn Hill? Horn Hill, if you remember, guys, when we found the... Actually, I'll talk about it in a minute. Now that you mention it, says the other one. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. I didn't mean to abandon you. It is then we shall have our vengeance. Flaming Scepter Mages attack. And they attack us. There you go. They actually go ahead and do it. It's brilliant, this. And we just completely destroy them. Ow, ow! That made my Battle Scepter elbow act up. That was unnecessary. You already abandoned us to the Charr. 6 years is a long time. A long, foul-smelling time. Well, maybe we won't have our vengeance, but we'll have no more of this war. We're going to live life doing something boring and peaceful from here on. We've already decided to change our name to the Flaming Loot Mages. It's catchy, guys. I like it. Very nice. We're going to change the world with our songs and take music in bold new directions. And get all the wenches. Yes, it's all about the wenches. So, just as soon as we learn how to play. Yeah, brilliant. It would be kind of cool if in Guild Wars 2 you met like some musicians or something that said they were inspired by the Flaming Loot Mages. So, while we appreciate your help, we'll not be going with you. Alright, so we just freed you and you're not leaving the cave. We'll go our own way just as soon as the prospect of being free stops being frightening. Now these last 2 lines, I guess, where they explain that they're not going with us, it's kind of cool that they put them in, because there's so many quests, like the guy we saved in the cage, if you remember. It's kind of funny how you leave the guys in the cage, you just leave them there and you never sort of do anything with them. And that happens constantly, like where you save someone but in this game they just stand there and you're expected to zone away and then they've miraculously disappeared. It kind of explains it here, which is kind of cool. But yeah, the Flaming Scepter Mages. So these guys, if you remember ages ago, and hopefully I'll remember the story correctly, at the ruins of Sirmia we came up north to Draskir, which had fallen, and there we found the legendary artifact Stormcaller, which we then used at Rin, or rather Prince Rurik used at Rin, to bring down like a magical rain which weakened the Charr somehow, and then we managed to drive them out of Rin after it had fallen, after it had been attacked by Blaze Burnt Soul. Was that his name again? I've already forgotten it after editing in the other video. But yeah, so and we met the Flaming Scepter Mages, and these guys defended us while we were having like our final showdown at Draskir, and they were operating the obelisks, and here they are again. So, you know, they're not forgotten. They're reintroduced in Eye of the North. People say we look alike, but spend 6 years as a prisoner with someone and you'll learn just how different that person can be. They all say the same thing, which is very ironic considering what they're talking about. But yeah, there you go. The other interesting thing about these 3 guys here that's actually kind of cool is the fact that if you haven't completed this mission, now obviously everything in Eye of the North has to be neutral for whatever character's watching it. So it has to work for whether I'm from factions, whether I'm from prophecies, or whether I'm from Nightfall. Which is a reason why, you know, I bitched about it in that cutscene a while ago on one of these things at Gwen, where I bitched about her when she was like, you don't understand what it's like to lose everything, and I joked about that. The truth is, you know, that kind of dialogue has to happen because it could very well be a player that's only seen the Nightfall storyline, but this quest seems to go completely against that, right? It makes out that we already know them. And that's because there's 2 branches to this quest. If we were to do this on a character that hadn't been in Prophecies, the Flaming Mages wouldn't fight us. That whole aspect of the quest wouldn't be there. We wouldn't just smack them down, and they'd basically just say, oh, thank you for saving us, but the prospect of freedom is intimidating, so we're going to stay here. So it's quite cool that there's that little branch on this quest. It's the kind of quest that I really like, and I like that there's these details here, and I like that they remembered the Flaming Scepter Mages. So yeah, who knows, maybe we'll hear more about the Flaming Loot Mages sometime in the future, but for now that's them done. And indeed every direct Charr Homelands quest, essentially. We do have that one from Gwen, and I'm sure there's some other stuff around here that we'll be coming back to eventually to do, but I mean outside of the dungeons. But yeah, that's it, guys. We've seen the whole area basically. That's it. Let's actually cash in our reward. We're gonna have to go back out and speak to Sergeant Westar. It was Westar that gave it to us, wasn't it? Yeah, it was. Oh yeah, and one other thing that I completely forgot to mention that's just come to my head is, you know, Brave Brent Poltroon, Sergeant Westar, Jen Valenfield, all those guys we've actually met as well before. They're actually, well, in terms of when the game was developed, we wouldn't have met them yet, but basically those guys were the guys at the end of Gwen's story, when she ran up to the mountains and she'd got away from the Charr and she met those people. They were the people that she met, those people there, they're the very same. So that's kind of cool that when they developed the bonus mission pack, which came out after Eye of the North, alright, so that's kind of how the timeline goes, they looked for NPCs in the Charr Charr Homelands for Gwen to meet in her sort of flight north. So they kind of met each other the first time. It was about here, wasn't it? This is where the flight north takes place. I wish doing the bonus missions actually unfogged this area of the map, especially the Sol de Lesso mission, which takes place like here, which is really cool, but you never really get to see that, so it never really unfogs, which is a shame. But yeah, anyway. So yeah, I thought you guys might like to know that. So there were a lot of like references and characters coming back, which at the end of the day for me, why am I coming up here again? I just realised he was down here. Which at the end of the day for me, those are my favourite quests, where you get a character that we'd seen before, like old Mac and Joe, and you see it multiple times. So yeah. Hello, Sergeant Westar. One less life at the hands of the Charr is one more life lived. Even if the mages do not come to our aid, Charr fell when we freed them, and a dead Charr for their side is a victory for us. Alright, cool. So there you go. And I'm pretty sure that's every single skill that we've actually got now. Yeah, that's definitely every single skill. So yeah, that's the Charr Homelands, guys. Next episode, we'll still be here. We're going to go back to that Burning Forest. Actually, do you know what? This video's been quite long, so what I might do is not end it yet and actually do that Gwen's quest now and do it all sort of in one and then just split it in two. That's what I might do. So yeah. We're going to continue on with the video. I just checked how long we've been going. It's been about 35 minutes from now, so I guess why not? Let's do it. So this next quest, alright, I've kind of changed the tone completely here, but this next quest is actually quite a good one. It goes quite deep into the Charr and what goes on with them, and Gwen as well. You know, I've said my opinions on her, but I do appreciate that she's a character that a lot of people like. So yeah, this should be pretty good. This is a pretty good quest. So before we start, to be able to get this quest, you need to have like a memento from Gwen's past with you in your inventory when you speak to her, because this is going to be basically the idea is that you're going to speak to her as her old friend from pre-searing. So it can actually be any kinds of items. It can be a red iris pit flower that you've picked from out here, or even indeed a garden that she's got out here in the Icecliff Chasms, which I will be showing you at some point soon. It could be a preserved red iris flower, which was actually a hint to her that we had in Nightfall out in the Barbaro Shore, if you remember me talking about that when we were in Nightfall. Or it can be one of several other things. Well, there used to be an item called a Tattered Girl's Cape that you used to be able to find in Kryta. It was an item that was only in the game for a while, and it was actually removed in an update after a while. Nobody knew why it was there at the time, but it was eventually removed. And also there was another item which I did pick up in the Let's Play, and the whole way through Prophecies, and the whole way through all of my Let's Plays, until we first reached the Eye of the North, it was in my inventory, and I've just gone off camera and got it back. This Gwen's Broken Flute. You might remember me picking this up. This was in like episode 9 or 10 or something like that. It was the I think it was the episode where we first got Charlie, actually, or when I first mentioned his name or something like that. But basically you can find this out in Ascalon. You pick it up, and I picked it up and it was in my inventory the whole way through, and I wanted to make a point of it, and that's because if you keep this flute, this can act as one of the items for Gwen. I think there might be one or two other ones that I haven't mentioned, but it's very cool the way they do this. So when I actually got here filming in Eye of the North, there's actually a take out there that I had to cut out because I went off doing it all and I talked all about the Hall of Monuments, and then when I first spoke to Gwen, it automatically triggered the dialogue for this quest that's coming up because I had the flute in my inventory, so I had to get rid of it and then refilm the whole thing. So yeah, at least now we can actually see it. So here we go. We're back at the Hall of Monuments. We will continue on. Don't forget we have the Call of the Eye on us, so there is a cutscene for us to see here. But first, we're going to speak to Gwen and see what happens.
How can I help?
Oh, we should. Why isn't she giving me the quest? Why isn't she giving me the quest? Ah! Oh, hold on, guys. So as it turns out, the broken flute, my god, the broken flute doesn't actually trigger the entrance to the quest. All the broken flute does is trigger a small bit of dialogue, which I read on that cut that I ended up having to get rid of, but it had nothing to do with the quest. Gwen just basically says to you, oh, I like that you've held on to this trinket from the past, but we must move on. So for some reason, this item here, Gwen's broken flute, doesn't trigger this coming quest, but there is another item that you can get in pre-searing, yes, bear with me, called a broken flute, which if you hold on to the one from pre-searing, will actually trigger you to get a quest here, but not the same quest as we're about to get from Gwen now. Alright, so if you can bear all of that in mind, what I've done is I've gone and got a red iris flower so we can do the quest I intend to do, and we'll do the other one soon enough. Yeah, I've always known that there were at least 2 quests that you could do from her, and they were different items, but it's just so needlessly confusing. Come on, Arenanet, come on. I blame you guys for this. This is just... how is the casual player supposed to know about this kind of stuff? Anyway, here's Gwen, and she says, and as you can see, this is a difficulty quest. This is a master difficulty quest. quest. This is a memento of the past, a ghost of what I once was. You never cease to amaze me, Peter. No matter how hard the Charr try to destroy what we have, there will always be something that survives. According to the Eben Vanguard scouts, forces within the Charr Shaman caste have begun to move in Saknoth Valley, trying to regroup. The rumours speak of magic once thought lost, and great wrath wrought upon us. I don't want to believe that they could use the horrific power they wielded in the Searing once more, but if there's even the least bit of truth to this, we must stop them. I will not see another know the pain of my loss. Alright, okay, so cool. History will not repeat itself. So these quests you actually get with Gwen are quite interesting, because Gwen's kind of this conflicted, you know, all angsty bitch, basically, through Eye of the North. But these quests kind of conclude her story a little bit in Eye of the North. So if you complete these and you completely ignore everything that happened elsewhere, and yes, we do have to walk back to Saknoth Valley, and yeah, I'll cut it. But if you completely ignore everything that happens after Eye of the North came out, and just look at this, you can actually kind of see Gwen's story be a little bit concluded, especially when you consider the storyline I showed you with her and her mother in the underworld. Then what kind of happened that eventually was the twig that broke it for me and Gwen in particular is the fact that after Eye of the North was out, they then kind of moved her story on even further with the later content, and that's when it just got too far. Don't get me wrong, I have said in this Let's Play that, you know, I'm not Gwen's biggest fan, but when it was just Eye of North that was out, you guys should know I actually quite liked Gwen. I kind of liked the story. It hadn't been going on for too long. So what we're seeing here is kind of what I hold as like the conclusion to Gwen and sort of the end of sort of her arc with these quests that are coming up. Obviously the second one I'm not going to be doing straight away. I can't be bothered to do that right now. We will do that sometime later. But these two quests in particular, they're quite cool as far as Gwen's concerned. And especially this one I like a lot because, as we've already heard, it's got a lot of juicy stuff to do with the Shaman cast. So very nice. But yeah, we got a long walk back to Saknoth Valley. So I'll see you guys in a second when we manage to get there. So many cuts this video. Well, these two videos I've just filmed. So many goddamn cuts. I've done like 6 exports in Audacity. I mean, Jesus.